Passion without action is like a roaring fire trapped behind glass, intense, visible, but powerless to warm or transform. Too many carry fierce dreams and blazing enthusiasm, yet watch their potential slip away, because they never move beyond feeling to doing. True power and success come not from how deeply you desire something, but from the relentless actions you take to make it real. Without action, passion is wasted energy potential that will never break free and become an unstoppable force. Dreams without execution die unfulfilled. Passion, while beautiful and inspiring, is only the spark, not the fire. It's the emotional fuel that ignites our imagination, drives our desire, and gives us a glimpse of what could be. But without action, that spark fades. It becomes a warm thought, a distant hope, a ghost of potential that never took form. Far too many people walk through life, carrying dreams they never dare to chase. They speak of what they love, what they want to build, where they wish to go, but their feet never move, their hands never create, and their minds remain locked to a future that never arrives. Passion, left untouched, becomes a prison. It taunts you with a vision you're too afraid or too distracted to pursue. Execution is what separates visionaries from daydreamers. The world isn't changed by those who simply care deeply. It's moved forward by those who do something about it. Your talent, your passion, and your dreams mean nothing without the courage to act on them. Action is the great equalizer. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval. And you don't need to know every step. You only need to move. Take the first step. Make the call. Write the page. Build the prototype. Speak your truth. Without execution, passion becomes a burden rather than a blessing. It weighs on the soul. It lingers in your mind as what if, and someday, and maybe when. Those words are the graveyard of potential. They are the whispers that lead people into comfort and away from greatness. Too many people believe passion alone will carry them forward, but passion fades when not used. It withers in the absence of effort. It becomes a source of pain rather than progress. Those who act, even imperfectly, breathe life into their passion. They stumble, fail, get up, and try again. But in every fall, they learn. In every try, they grow. In every action, they gain momentum. And momentum turns passion into reality. You cannot think your way into a legacy. You must act it out. You must wake up and make choices that align with what you say you love. You must commit to progress, no matter how slow or messy. Passion untested by action is unproven. And unproven passion becomes a wasted gift. This world is already filled with brilliant minds who never acted, with passionate hearts that never moved, with dreamers who let their dreams collect dust while waiting for the right time. But time doesn't wait. Opportunities don't pause. Life doesn't hold its breath for your readiness. It moves forward with or without you. You either act on your passion or watch it fade in silence. Potential is a powerful word. It represents everything you could become, everything you're capable of achieving, the greatness that exists within you, waiting. But potential alone means nothing without discipline. It's not talent, not passion, not intelligence that separates the extraordinary from the average. It's the ability to commit to the process, to show up every day, to do the hard things when motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline is a bridge between what you feel inside and what the world eventually sees. You could be the most gifted person in the room, but if you lack the discipline to sharpen that gift, it remains dull. You can have the most compelling passion, but without the structure to mold it into action, it becomes scattered and ineffective. Discipline is what turns potential into power. It's not glamorous. It doesn't get applause, but it gets results. Every person has potential. That's not what makes you different. What defines you is whether you're willing to do the work. Day in, day out. No shortcuts. No excuses. Discipline is about choosing your future over your comfort. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's practicing when others are playing. It's staying focused when distractions are everywhere. And it's doing the right thing, especially when no one is watching. That's where growth lives. Not in the highlight moments, but in the quiet, unseen, relentless repetition of action. Most people never see their potential become real because they wait for motivation to carry them. But motivation is fleeting. Discipline, however, is a decision, a habit, a mindset, And that mindset doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. Your potential is like a locked vault. Discipline is the key. You may have everything inside you to change your life, impact others, or reach extraordinary levels. But unless you discipline yourself to act, it stays locked away. You'll never access a reward unless you're willing to pay the price. And the price is consistency, focus, sacrifice. You don't need to be the best right now. You need to be committed. That commitment compounds. It builds strength in your mind, resilience in your heart, and power in your results. Discipline trains your potential to become performance. Without it, you'll always wonder what you could have been. With it, you'll prove what you are. Every minute you waste waiting for the perfect moment, every excuse you make, every time you choose comfort over growth, you trade your potential for mediocrity. Discipline doesn't just unlock potential, it protects it. It keeps you moving when the path gets hard, when success feels far away, and when the fire inside dims. Because discipline doesn't rely on feeling, it relies on purpose. And when you live with purpose, powered by discipline, there is no limit to how far your potential can take you. Inaction breeds regret. Not instantly, not loudly, but slowly and quietly, like a shadow that grows behind you every day you choose not to move. The things you don't do, the chances you don't take, the words you don't speak, the dreams you never pursue, they don't disappear. They stay with you. They echo in the silence of missed opportunities, and they haunt you in the quiet moments when life forces you to reflect. You may bury your passion under distractions, comfort, or fear, but one day, you'll be forced to confront the reality of what you didn't become. That's the sting of regret. It's not about what went wrong. It's about what never got the chance to go right. And in most cases, it's not failure people fear most. It's looking back and realizing they never even tried. Regret is the price you pay for hesitation. When you wait for the perfect time, when you keep telling yourself tomorrow, when you let fear override your fire, you build a life on pause. And that pause eventually turns permanent. Time moves. Life moves. The world doesn't wait for your confidence or permission. The truth is, there's never a perfect moment. There's just now and what you do with it. If you don't act on your passion, if you don't take that step, create that thing, chase that vision, the window will close. And when it does, you'll be left with nothing but the memory of what could have been. That memory doesn't fade. It lingers because deep down, you knew you were capable. You knew you had more in you. But you let fear speak louder than purpose. You let uncertainty stop progress. You let comfort kill growth. Inaction is seductive. It feels safe. It requires nothing from you. No risk, no exposure, no failure. But what it does require eventually is the willingness to live with the emptiness of unrealized dreams. That's the slow burn of regret. It doesn't scream, but it never stops whispering. And the older you get, the louder it becomes. You start to see people with less talent doing more because they had the courage to act. You witness others making an impact, living boldly, not because they had it easy, but because they chose not to sit still. And that choice is always yours. Every day, you have the chance to do something, to build something, to take a risk that might change everything. Or you have the chance to do nothing and stack another brick in the wall of regret you're building around your potential. Action is the antidote to regret. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to move. Try. Fail if you must. But never let your story be one of silence, because silence steals dreams and replaces them with what if. The cost of inaction is never obvious at first. But one day, when time has run out, you'll feel it. And by then, it's too late to go back. Success respects effort, not just emotion. Passion is powerful, but without effort, it's hollow. The world is not moved by how deeply you feel about your goals. It is moved by what you're willing to do to achieve them. You can have all the love, excitement, and intensity in your heart, but that energy never gets translated into consistent, focused action. It remains unseen, untouched, and ultimately irrelevant. Too many people confuse being passionate with being productive. They believe that caring a lot is enough, that intensity alone will push them forward. But success doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to execution. Effort is a language achievement understands. and it is spoken through discipline, persistence, and sacrifice. You don't get to win because you want it badly. You get to win because you outwork the resistance that tries to stop you. You get to win because you show up on the days when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's inconvenient. That's effort. That's what separates the people who merely wish from the people who do. Passion might light the fire, but effort keeps it burning through the storms. Success doesn't ask how inspired you were. It asks what you built, what you gave, and how much you were willing to endure to reach the next level. Every breakthrough is earned. Every win is forged in the hours nobody sees. And while passion can make you start, only effort can carry you across the finish line. There are countless people in this world who feel passion, who talk about their dreams, who get emotional about their vision, but never put in the grind to make any of it real. Their passion becomes performance. They look motivated but live in circles of procrastination and excuses. Success doesn't fall for that. It doesn't care how much you talk about your goals, how many motivational videos you watch, or how fired up you get on a Sunday night. It cares about what you do when the excitement fades. It watches your work ethic, your resilience, and your hunger to grow. It measures how often you push past resistance, how often you fall and get back up, how hard you're willing to fight when nobody's clapping for you. Effort is where transformation happens. It's where potential becomes progress and where passion finds its true expression. Passion alone can be loud but ineffective. Effort, even in silence, changes everything. It sharpens your skills, builds your character, and earns you the respect of success itself. In the end, your life will not be defined by how much passion you felt, will be by what you did with that passion. If there's no action behind your emotion, then you're just another voice in the crowd, not a force that moves mountains. You don't get to choose the rewards without first choosing the work. And when you embrace effort as your standard, success starts to take you seriously. Motion turns passion into power. Passion is a spark, but motion is the engine that transforms into something real, something strong, something unstoppable. Without motion, passion sits idle. It becomes a feeling with no force, a dream with no direction, a flame with no fuel. The difference between people who achieve and those who don't is not just what they feel in their heart, but what they do with their hands. Passion gives you a reason to care, but motion gives you a reason to win. Every step you take, no matter how small, turns your passion into momentum. And momentum is power. It compounds, it multiplies, and it carries you forward even when the path gets rough. Most people wait. They wait for clarity, for confidence, for the perfect plan. But waiting kills momentum. Motion, on the other hand, builds it. Action is a trigger that sets everything in motion. When you move, you learn. When you move, you adapt. When you move, you build strength, experience, and clarity that you could never gain from standing still. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. You just need to begin. The act of doing, of trying, of failing forward, is what gives your passion direction. It takes the energy you feel and turns it into results you can see. That's where power lives, not in thought, not in theory, but in motion. Motion creates belief. When you act, you prove to yourself that you're serious. Every choice to move forward, every moment of discipline, every task you complete reinforces the identity of someone who follows through. That's power, knowing you can trust yourself. Passion alone can make you dream, but motion makes you believe. And belief is the foundation of unstoppable progress. You begin to realize that you don't need massive wins overnight. You just need to stay in motion. Passion gives you the why, but motion keeps asking, what's next? It drives you forward, and in that movement, you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. When passion meets consistent motion, it becomes a force that changes everything. It turns ideas into impact, goals into accomplishments, and ordinary people into legends. But the key is movement, not speed, not perfection, just forward motion. Because even small steps, taken consistently, are more powerful than the grandest dreams that stay locked in your mind. Power is not given to those who wish for it. It's earned by those who work for it. And the work begins the moment you move. That's the moment passion becomes something greater than a feeling. It becomes a force, a driving, living, unstoppable force powered by motion. You don't have to be fearless, but you must be moving. You don't have to be the best, but you must be in the fight. Passion may give you the vision, but motion gives you the victory. Action separates the inspired from the impactful. Inspiration is easy to find. It's everywhere, in books, in speeches, in moments of clarity that flood your mind and make your heart race. But inspiration is fleeting. It fades if it's not acted upon. Everyone feels inspired at some point, but not everyone turns that feeling into something real. That's where the separation begins. The world is full of people who talk about what they want to do, what they're going to build, and who they plan to become. But without action, all of it is just noise, empty promises whispered to themselves and forgotten in the silence of inaction. Being inspired means you felt spark, but being impactful means you've done the work. It means you've taken that spark and used it to light a fire that doesn't go out when things get hard. Action doesn't wait for the right moment. It creates the right moment. You don't have to have the best idea, the most resources, or even full confidence. You just need to take that next step. It's not your potential that defines you. It's what you do with it. People who make an impact are not always the most talented, but they're the ones who show up, who move, who refuse to let fear decide the outcome of their story. Every person who has changed the world started with inspiration, but they earned their impact through relentless action. They kept moving when it was uncomfortable, when it was uncertain, when it would have been easier to stop. They didn't wait for perfect plans. They started with what they had, where they were, and they built from there. They made mistakes, they learned, and they kept going. That's the difference. Inspiration gives you the idea. Action gives you the result. The only way to know what's possible is to start doing. Otherwise, you become one of the many who had the passion, had the vision, but lacked the movement to bring it to life. You don't get remembered for what you intended to do. You get remembered for what you actually did. The ones who inspire are many, but the ones who impact are few, because taking action requires courage, discipline, and sacrifice. It demands that you push through fear and rejection, that you stay the course when progress is slow. And that's why action is everything. It transforms inspiration into influence, energy into legacy, and vision into reality. You must be willing to move while others hesitate, to do what most people only talk about, because in the end, those who act are the ones who leave a mark. The rest just leave potential behind. Dreams demand execution, not just emotion. You can love your dream with everything in you. You can think about it day and night, speak about it with passion, and feel it burning in your soul. But if you don't execute, if you don't plan, act, and persist, then that dream will remain exactly what it is, a fantasy. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards results. No matter how deep your desire runs, it's the actions you take that shape reality. Emotion is fuel, but fuel sitting in a tank does nothing until the engine starts. Execution is that engine. It's the grind, the late nights, the repeated attempts, the uncomfortable moments. It's where dreams are tested, refined, and ultimately brought to life. People often confuse intensity with effectiveness. They assume that because they feel strongly about something, that emotion alone will somehow bend the universe in their favor. But that's not how success works. Emotion may inspire you to begin, but execution ensures you finish. Without execution, your dream is just a hope trapped in your imagination. Execution is unglamorous. It's repetitive. It demands sacrifice. It asks you to do things when you don't feel like it, to get uncomfortable, to be disciplined when no one's watching. And that's why so many dreams die, not because people didn't care, but because they didn't do. They waited. They hesitated. They got overwhelmed. But dreams don't thrive on perfect plans. They thrive on persistent motion. Every dream comes with a price tag. Your effort, your time, your commitment. Execution is how you pay for it. You don't get to skip the work just because your dream matters to you. In fact, the more your dream matters, the more you owe it to yourself to execute on it daily. Wanting it badly is not enough. Wishing won't make it real. You have to map it out. Break it down. Wake up early. Stay up late. Hold yourself accountable. Your dream is a blueprint. Execution is the building process. And it won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you refuse to quit. Execution turns vision into victory. Without it, Even the greatest idea dies in silence. With it, even an average idea can change the world. Because the people who make the difference are not always the most talented, but they're the ones who refuse to leave their dream in the realm of theory. They take risks. They make moves. They fall, but they rise. They show up and deliver. Over and over again. That's the power of execution. It's not about doing something once with emotion. It's about doing it consistently with intention. Dreams are not given, they're earned. And execution is a currency. Emotion may make your heart beat faster, but execution is what builds the life you imagine when you close your eyes and dare to dream. Passion alone is not enough. It is only the beginning of a journey that demands relentless action, unwavering discipline, and fearless motion. Without these, passion remains trapped potential, a spark that never ignites into lasting change. The difference between dreams that die and dreams that transform into reality is the courage to act, to push through fear, doubt, and delay. When passion is matched with consistent, purposeful effort, it becomes a powerful force that breaks barriers and reshapes destinies. Never let your passion waste away in silence. Ignite it with action and unleash the extraordinary within you.